I'm not a Predator fan by any means, or a Drake fan. I've never cared about this universe, never seen any of the projects, and my only knowledge of the franchise was through references to it from other movies and shows. But as Hulu announced the new animated anthology project, Killer of Killers, I was really excited, I'm not even gonna lie. Then I found out it was a movie and not a TV show, and I started to worry because I didn't know how well an anthology format would fit in an animated action flick. This was the franchise's first time going into the realm of animation, and exploring this universe through an anthology format could be interesting if they did it right. And after watching, not only can I say it uses both of these formats really well, but it's one of the best films of the year so far. The movie is split up in 3 separate segments, one in Viking times, one in Japan during the 16th century, and one following World War II pilots, all culminating in the final segment where each of those characters from the segments face off against one another in a Predator ring. Honestly, it's a really cool idea, and the anthology format works really well for this film. The Vikings work as a solid introduction to the tone and the overall gist of the movie, with predators hunting people on Earth, and then the Predator coming in and wrecking everything up. I feel like it's very much just answering the question, oh, what if we had a Predator in so-and-so time era? And I guess it's a really cool way to do that through this animation style. The animation here is phenomenal. It reminds me most of Arcane, but it still has its own unique style and aesthetic. The designs are all really cool, especially the ones they use for the Predators. I love how they all match the time period they're in, and they work as good challenges for the leads. Whenever the frame rate slows down during the action, it was like hypnotic eye candy. It never felt cheap either. It felt like another stylistic choice to add in. But the main thing about this style is that it really allows this team to let loose with the action. There's so much gore and blood and dismemberment and all sorts of violent crap, and it makes for some of the sickest fight scenes of the year so far. That long take with the Viking girl is incredible. Oh my lord. I feel like people discredit whenever a one-er is done in animation because the whole location and everything in it are fake, but it's still an incredibly hard task. If anything, it's even more challenging because the animators have to create and navigate a landscape they meticulously made for a long take like this. The fighting with every anthology piece is done really well, actually. The shield is a perfect opening and it establishes the tone of the movie as it continues. The sword may be my favorite one, and the lack of dialogue pushes it to an extra measure. You're never playing catch up. They explain everything well through visual language, and I love whenever a movie takes a big pause in talking like this one does. I've seen a lot of complaints about the last segment, and I do think it is good, even if it is a bit of a tone killer with how serious the last 2 were, but I really do like the main character, and I'm a sucker for anything that's World War II. I also just really like how ingenuitive he is in this scene and how he's able to beat the Predator. The final segment, that's essentially an Attack of the Clones ripoff, is also really good. This is me definitely reading too much into it, but I love how these 3 very different people unite as one against these haters. It's their teamwork and understanding of one another that makes them defeat the Predators. It's just me reading too much into it. But I love whenever people choose not to fight in movies like this and come up with better solutions to the plot. Yeah, they still end up boxing with the Predators, but that's all that species knows, so it makes sense that even these killers of killers have their human sense of loyalty to one another, and that lets them win in the end. It's a small detail, but it's sweet. I like it. Overall, despite some pacing and some weird tonal issues and the fact the movie just ends, I really did enjoy it. It's a fun, action-packed, horrific flick that's enjoyable for both fans of the franchise and newcomers alike. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's a solid 8 out of 10 and one of my favorites of the year so far. But I can't speak for what you'll think of it. If you like good action flicks, I definitely recommend you watch this on Hulu or Hulu on Disney Plus whenever you can. Farewell, killers.